But Gen G have gone from success to success, while Sentinels had that Super Bowl hangover that we often see from very good teams. I will say, though, when it specifically comes to Haven, paper thin, talking about it on the desk, that A lobby control was so important for the one game that Gen G did end up dropping on this map. I think that's where the Breach Sovacom is significantly better.
You see that A control given up, but nobody watching onto the high ground angle. Texture back in a way, still flashed up. Won't be able to get too much done here. And Gen G not able to flood defense in time. Smokes up. Might be looking for a bit of a contact play, but a call for the pause is made by SEN. They're just going to wait this one out for the util. Still holding it down. Go spam it away still. Adjustment from Sassy. It's good. Leaves it just down to Meteor. 1v3 here for our pistol. Can he do it? First obstacle removed. Plenty more where that came from, though. Revealed up just on the last few minutes. Reloads off. Turret up. Catches one of the contacts, but Sentinel's not willing to give them too much of a fight here. Sassy's so wide out into the open. 14 HP. Turret still up. Tends us to break this one. The single shot. Do it! Meteor delivers it.
Well, there's a reason that this guy was the MVP for Shanghai. What a way to start things out. I was all ready to sell how well Sentinels had played that A exec. The early control, the hit into sight. Gen G rattled, unable to get that flood retake working. And what did we just witness? The Red Bull clutch comes through in a spot that it should never. I think we've got to start there. This is a situation where he should get traded every single time.
Gotta agree with that.
And the home crowd roars.
That's a 1v3, and Gen G to continue that kind of dominance with the pistol round, starting it up. Conversion into the bonuses. Josh, you were chewing my ear about it.
Yeah.
Off in the green room, you know, talking about how good this Gen G team is when it comes to just being able to get those early advantages.
Yeah, if you want to let me nerd out for a moment there, Gen G are third best team when it comes to pistols at Champions, but they're amazing at converting bonuses. So assuming that they win this round, which Meteor is under quite a bit of pressure here.
Quite a lot, actually, overwhelming. Damage is being done to them, but it's been flooded in.
And should be all good.
And it should be, yeah. Sealed up here. Spikes drop down. Zeltis, not much chances for him. He might go around the world to farm up some orbs, but...
And so, look, Meteor is going to have enough to buy up a rifle in the next round. They've got two Guardians, Bulldog rifle. They're the first... The number one team at Champions in terms of converting these bonus rounds. In round 3, round 15, where you've won the pistol and the follow-up. And I think part of that is because they take them so seriously. They have such incredible aimers. If they have a Guardian or a Sheriff in their hands, first bullet accuracy on almost all of these guys on Gen G is remarkably good. Love seeing that flash there. A
little bit of an Easter egg, I think, of things to come.
30 seconds left.
I think he's just looking to give away his body at the final moment. I mean, he has nothing really to play for, apart from that extra ult point that he could try to get online. And to be honest, he's not too far away from getting it early on in this map.
Yeah, spotted out and finally cleaned up here. So, inevitable here, but now we can start to look forward to this bonus round. Gen G usually cooking with it.
More of that.
They are, and I'll tell you what, I've been watching a lot of both. Well, I've been watching a lot of Gen G on Haven. I've watched all of Sentinels Haven, but they haven't played it very much.
Not much.
So that's an interesting dynamic, isn't it? Because SEN are going to read into what they've seen from the VODs from Gen G. And one of the interesting things is Viper Orb always going towards C long instead of A. That's an interesting quirk of how Gen G play this. And they have two different Viper walls. This one, the most standard, which is going to throw towards A. And then he has an aggressive one for A lobby, which I thought they might pull out. But here on the bonus, looking to try to punish anybody that takes a peek mid.
Bit of spam damage just laid down into the wall here. A lot of presence showcased here by Gen G. Texture's going walkabouts. Wants to make a go of things.
No cam tap.
Yep, no cam, no turret to catch that contact. Now the dash is active. They missed the timing. Right behind now still. It's a bullet straight to the back. Now, potentially an opening for Sentinels. We'll attempt to slow this one down. They want to try and get rid of most of this util. There's a fault line to try and follow through Zekken. Got a lot in his face here still. Nothing to really shut them down. Meteor dodging the flash, up and away. Looking snappy and magnetic into the moment. Still a TP forward. Sentinels not to be disallowed this, but pushing through the one way. It is chaos incarnate. Down to that 1v2. Munchkin. Upgrade in hand. Now he's going to make the most of this one here. Sentinels cannot afford to throw away these player advantage situations. Not like how the pistol round got started for them. Dart is good. Spots out Munchkin now, but he's got a lot more to do. Molly at the feet, Sassy. Push back and away and wide. Bit of spam and straight bullets away. Gets the reload off, but there's only 6 left to him. He's got to do so much with it. Not able to, not against Sentinels there. In this instance, the discipline finally reigning supreme.
So there we go. Gen G unable to convert the bonus this time around. Still off to a decent start with some good damage done. That's going to knock the Sentinels' economy slightly. But I think more important than that, as we look towards the rest of this half, is how the map control game plays out. You can't really run big C execs against Gen G. That's the power of the Viper Orb at the top there that they run. But it does make their A-holds weaker, I think. And the way that DRX was able to beat them on this map just recently in Pacific was by taking A-long control very consistently. You've always got John there with the cam to make sure if Gen G push down mid, it's covered. I think in rounds like this, giving Gen G full A lobby control seems like a bit of a map control mistake to me from the side of Sentinels. But maybe they've got something very different in mind. It looks like they're setting up for another one of these garage splits.
Alicia's preemptively trying to get rid of some of the Killjoy util. Turrets up, trying to spam one of the more common locations, but they don't actually know where it is. It's been shifted and moved along, so none of those bullets will be landing. Drone up through C. Makes it feel like there is some presence and pressure being pushed up into it, but a lot of players just now sitting outside. Through B, wall up in their face again, creating difficulties.
And if they do decide to pop B here, Munchkin's going to be there fairly early with a snake bite. They're trying to go back towards garage.
Texture. Oh, he's trying to play an off angle to get ahead of this util that they might use to clear this, and he is ahead of the full line! 2 removed! Drop just like that, pushing through though. John QT, quick to equalize, a 3v3. Into the moment still with 40 seconds left, there is room to breathe. Bit of a pause is called, Cage falls. Alongside the wall, Munchkin was not ready for that. Ferrari Peak in action here.
30 seconds left.
Tap, hoping that the rest of these players are going to come swinging out of the open, and it leaves it once more down to Meteor. 1v3. A miracle round for him on the pistol round that he did convert, but this one is a little bit more, at least tougher to chew through, isn't it? Contact's caught by John, and he will deliver them the round.
2 huge kills there from Sentinels. One from John, the other from Zekken, both in B main. And I think those are the 2 that really turned that in favor of Sen. After Texture got a double kill, most of the time I think that should be Raps.
Yeah.
And yet, really strong, quick aim coming out from John McCutie and Zekken to be able to pick off players on Gen G. Both Karen and Munchkin falling in those spots. It just opens up the whole site for them. Gen G are going to have to respect that. If Sentinels are shooting and they've got a firepower advantage early on in this game, well, a lot of things are going to change.
That's knocked Gen G down to that weaker buy. It's a good time to talk about, you know, the overall feelings heading into this match, because a lot of people would, I think, pen Gen G as the heavy favorites. That's understandable considering Sentinels were slacking a little bit towards the end of stage 2. Ended up falling off a little bit, of course. Texture with the knives in his hands with the Blade Storm might be able to return at least some of it, but tagged up by the drone. You got to respect that. Backing away. It's a bait and switch, though. Got to make the most of it. Meteor's back in there, too. Orb in their face. Not thinking about it, but as it's dropped, Meteor is just out in the open. And this slow, cautious tail that's really being told by Sen across the map. It's working dividends.
It is, but because they didn't take a long control early on in the round, and they don't have drone, it's going to be tough for them to end A here. So their choices are between B and C, and that's mostly where the Gen G defense is. There are still opportunities for this to go wrong for Sentinels. They've got time on the clock. I'm not sure that John's going to be able to re-explore this entire area confidently. He's going to give it a go, though.
There's a stack of players at Gen G, at least.
I mean, what's the chances you run into the Bucky here?
I mean, Josh should just be going down every day of the week, and so he does. An upgrade offered up. Handle to them. Fault line into the corner as well, but you want to go into this one with a rolling thunder. It is committed. Still as an orb and a snake bite in your face. Aftershock. Narrowly avoided. Flick of the wrist. Dodges the flash. Still, the reinforcements are here. This is the danger zone for Sentinels. You're walking straight into the maw, and it's only firepower. They're going to be able to bail yourself out. Texture can only do so much with that Sheriff in hand, and the plant has to be stuck down. Bullet spraying and praying away, but Tens ready to lock it all down.
Recovered there towards the end for Sentinels. But I'm really not liking the way that they're setting themselves up in some of these situations. Because they're not taking A control early on, they limit themselves so drastically in the late round.
Yeah.
Yes, they're able to barrel their way through there. And yes, it doesn't matter too much that John goes down to the Bucky in short, but that got close and it had no reason to necessarily. They just found themselves stuck.
importance of that A lobby control, though, that you were hammering home is going to be all the more here. Texture's got the operator in his hands, and I think this is being tracked by Sentinels. Now, got a sight set towards it. It's a drone. Texture's ahead of this, though, to fall, and he misses the flick, and there's a dash into his face. How the hell do you avoid this? You don't! It's all supplemented. TP up into heaven. Tens is there for the backstab just in case, but Sassy was the one to clean it all up, and now you're just looking at a save.
That's so lovely. I mean, that's a wonderful play over towards Hay there. Adding the Soverall into the back of it too. Texture had an opportunity, but it was a tough flick to be able to get onto Zek, and he does the reverse peek, crossing over the bricks early. He is often good for those. His aim's pretty spectacular with the op, but this time, Sen come out on top, and Zeken's got that killer instinct just to rush him down early.
Yeah, they are not scared, are they?
I was talking about how, you know, not fully convinced yet at the way that Sentinels are approaching the attack side, despite the fact that they've been good so far with rifles in hand. But if I'm looking at just the teamwork, coordination, their rifle aim, everything's looking very clean right now for Sen. And that A-take inspired a lot of confidence in me. So far, it's Gen G firmly on the back foot here.
Yeah. Sentinels coming out swinging as well. Don't let that 4th seed in Americas fool you. What a finalized finish as well for them in Stage 2.
They had a 6-map win streak at the start of Stage 2. Yeah, it's something that I think people have forgotten because they went out ignominiously from playoffs. And they'd lost to G2 right before the playoffs as well. But they're still a competent team, and if you catch them on a good day, woe betide you.
Yeah. You think about this Sentinels team as well. It's all been leading up to this. The big moment here at Champions, the end of the year. They started their year in Korea with the Africa tournament, and now looking to potentially lift even a trophy, but maybe getting ahead of ourselves here. It's only day one, and it's only the first match. Tens punishing the peak there. At least they all pick up onto Munchkin. McCage up as well, covering the back of Tens.
So this is that Viper Wall I was talking about. It's designed for A-long control, but they couldn't control the Tens teleports. Very cool anti there, I think, based on where they saw the Viper Wall.
Caron, he wants to press forwards. He spots the barrel. He knows that there's a kill to be found. Will claim it. Double peak is up, and the trade inside here for Sentinels. Seekers considered by Lakia, now offloaded here just for that extra information. But Sentinels are still working with about a minute on the clock here. They can afford to just slow it all the way down. But Meteor, again, the risks have to be taken. He's the one pushed past and forwards most of his util. And he needs to find a kill from it.
Surely he has a free one on Tens.
Backs to it. He's watching the wrong angle, but yeah, Tens unaware. That could potentially be crossed up here. Sentinel's going for that quick reaction now. Full speed ahead over towards the C site.
And without Munchkin alive, no Viper Orb, C becomes much easier to hit. But there's always going to be that lockdown coming from Garage. How do you... not Garage, coming from...
Whoa.
What is that kind of placement? Just to make sure that it doesn't get contested?
I mean, Sentinel's going to be pushed all the way up onto site here. They can't actually fall back into the long angle flash. Just about dodge here. Second has dropped. This is disjointed here by Sentinels. The Aftershock has to get used now. Meteor wrapping behind. And a coordinated attempt. It works to full fruition. Gen G. Beautiful work.
What value from the lockdown as well.
Yeah.
I can't say that I've really seen too many people popping it down there to go for the C retake. I was also watching Texture's POV. He had to dodge 2 breach flashes and Lakia's flash as well. He's spinning his crosshair left and right just to try to keep his vision intact so that he can help on the retake. But that's the first one with rifles in hand that Gen G get on the board. And it wasn't looking great for them until Meteor made that play walking down mid. When you're in a player disadvantaged spot, sometimes you got to take risks like that.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, he's all over the place.
So now Texture with op in hand, going to be taking that peek towards B as Sentinels look to take some A lobby control.
Deep TP though, Lakia side by side. Him and Caron not ready for that one, are they? Zekken just catches one to the temple. Forced to back away. Texture's wondering which way to look.
You see that Tens went for the same teleport again, so every time the Viper Wall's been in this spot, Tens has tried to TP into this cubby. But this time, Munchkin wasn't just sat there in the open picking up an ult orb. They actually fought.
Scout destroyed.
Slow and steady. This time Gen G not needing to take too many risky plays, wandering forwards here. The pit is going to be dropped at the minute mark. This is lovely. Supplements the defense.
But it also stops you getting any further info. I say that, but actually Caron, having gone on top here, is still going to be able to get info down short. So it keeps 2 players A on the defense side, but I think Sen are going to struggle to get through that.
They really are.
what are your options now? You haven't gone garage, you haven't broken the killshot utility.
Well, Meteor, he's going to walkabouts here. Oh my, almost time for the peak there. Yeah, almost there with a punish still. Drone's going to be used to clear through into mid. Sentinels have only got 30 seconds to really work with into this one. Again with that player disadvantage. Tens, TP up top and away. And he spotted these players completely unaware. Gen.G still lacking. He's got to get a handle onto most of this one. Caron pressing forward. Smokes watched for. Gen.G have toppled.
That is an amazing play from Sentinels. Gen.G always flood defend and try to pre-take over towards B. Zellsis tapped that knowing it was coming. I mean, he knew with 100% confidence that they were about to push through that smoke. Hard red. There's the advantage of having those VODs to watch from Pacific.
Yeah. Munchkin not interested in playing for this one as well. Just wants to keep the op into the next. It's a big tool they're going to be using for their defense rounds. Gives us time as well to talk about, the general feeling heading into this one. It was already kind of mentioned on the desk with the map pool stuff, with Haven being played. It's a map that we haven't seen much of Sentinels at all.
No.
And there's a reason that they picked it here today. They feel like there's weaknesses to exploit on Gen.G's side. I would have to agree. When I was watching, it looked like one of the weaker maps for Gen.G, surprisingly. It was my overall hot take coming into the event that felt like their map pool wasn't quite as shored up as people were making out.
The weird thing about that, though, is I feel like we've seen Haven so little and from so few teams at an elite level that actually I still feel like Gen.G's Haven is up there, top 5, top 3 in the tournament.
From what we've seen, yeah.
Maybe I'll change my mind after watching more of other teams play, like Sentinels here. But, Sen had only played it once before this, into 100 Thieves, and they lost fairly convincingly.
And so it's hard to tell, right?
It's really tough to tell.
Size, yeah.
It's tough to tell who's good on Abyss, obviously, but also Haven at the moment. And I think, as we head deeper in this map pool, even more unknowns. The decider, if we got there, would be Abyss.
Oh, Abyss. I mean, I would love to see that map 3. Already into the round here. It's going to be quadruple face up in through mid. John QT stepping up late. Looking to send it straight through into the B side as well. A bit of spam into the smokes, aftershock as well. Nobody's going to be able to press their way forwards and past it. But Tens does get dropped. That spam, I believe, coming out through the smoke. Trailblazer spotting it. Paranoia rolling front out for the back. Nobody's watching this one second. He's going to be dropped here, trying to fight for the site control. It's all over the place. Sentinels caught completely unaware, and a spray down transfer just does not connect. Everybody falls once more. This time, it's Sentinels drifting back to that spectator seat, and Gen.G maybe one step closer to making it equalized at the half.
And Gen.G one step ahead there too. Notice how Sentinels were spamming into the smokes, expecting Gen.G to be set up for that pre-take, for that flood defend. And instead Gen.G hold a little further back, not much, but just a little, in order to not die to that early spam and get a big retake off altogether. These minute differences in timings are messing with what Sentinels were expecting. And especially if you get a freebie like that early on. But look how unexpected that timing was for them to go through the smoke.
Yeah, the Rolling Thunder just to try and fight for one of the extremities there out towards B. Just the slightest of timings that were off.
And that's how fast Gen.G adapt from one round to the next. It doesn't take them long.
There's a reason that they've made every single final so far this year. That's an accolade that not many teams at all can even claim. Munchkin trying to stop this one as well. Another B attempt and push in, spots the player, spamming away. Somebody's to cover this one down and below. Stunned up, matters not. Zekken just walking straight into this one. Still Caron is out and away! Caron delivers it side by side, him and Lakia. They push back any aggressors. And the spike drop down into no man's land. There are no chances left for Sassy.
Another spot where you feel like a Gen.G player's caught dead to rights, being double swung essentially. And the leader in terms of any Rookie of the Year awards pulls it out again, a 2K. Just a slight wiggle of the movement too to shake off a few bullets.
Yeah.
Watching Caron is a delight.
This guy is so damn impressive, and he's even the one to finish it here. 5-5, being that scoreline. You are right, you're talking about that Rookie of the Year candidacy. I mean, there's not many that can really hold a candle to them. One of them is in this server with him.
Yeah. I mean, John would be probably second, maybe Woot, it depends what your argument would be. But they're both so far behind Caron, they can't even see him in the race.
Yeah.
He's sprinted off into the distance, over the horizon. It would take one of those guys like John or Woot, winning champs, honestly, to overtake him for Rookie of the Year. Like you said, Gen.G have been in every finals with a rookie player basically straight from ranked. That's insanely impressive.
Yeah. Really never seen anything like it.
So 5-5. Big recovery from Gen G. Yes, they got the pistol, but it looked like Sentinels were in control in these rifle rounds up until recently. Sen going for a few too many plants on B.
Again, looking towards Garage. Seems like it's a pretty key part of what they're going for. Looking for a bit of spam into the corners, just in case there is that one of them held. Up angle, Meteor's caught on the cross, though. Trying to wade his way past that one. That's a leg shot. JungQT barely surviving Seekers. Pushing forwards. Lakia smelling that blood in the water. He definitely wanted to hunt that one out. So it's equalized 4 versus 4. And it causes that reaction now out of Sentinels. But they are going to be walking again. It's a Paranoia. It's an Anaswarm. It's an orb up in their face. Sentinels really don't have too many options here, but they're calling for the pause.
They have to go for the C-exec once the orb goes down, but this just becomes so obvious.
Yeah, and again, the players are meeting their match. It's Gen G happily able to just try and fight this one. Forwards, Hunter's Fury, though. That was the extra element needed. Lakia right from behind. Texture follows up with a shot, and still got to deal with these players. 2v2 now. 36 seconds left. Not enough with the offset of the movement. Lakia will be dropped. Texture 3 HP.
30 seconds left.
Looking this way, that way, head on a swivel, doesn't know which way to look. It's an impossibility almost at this point, but at least the spike isn't down. It's the one thing working for him, but the weaponry is not. Plant from Zelsis stuck, committed. Needs to be held out here.
Planted.
Weak players all around. It's all about this first shot that lands. Finally, needs a second one. Dash now active, doesn't know where he is, and it's wrapped all the way round! Texture! You absolute animal!
He's such an incredible player. Walking back into the backside of C, checking left and right on default, pulls out his shorty, thinking that he'd killed the healthy player, realizes he's wrong, still has time, even when he guesses the angle incorrectly first, to readjust. It's just unbelievable watching these guys play sometimes.
Individual game IQ, it's off the charts.
It really is. You know, we can see, we've got a mini-map.
Yeah.
He's operating fully in the dark in this spot, and he's got a perfect read on that timing. Munchkin can't even believe his eyes.
What a delivery. Straight up a gift for Gen G, but all from the hands of Texture. And still now, look towards it. The final round here of our first half on Haven.
Gen G, you've got a 4-player stack on A. This is a hard read. All right, Sentinels have only been going A when they want to finish A. Yeah. I think that's another flaw a little bit with the way that they've been doing their attack side calling. They're not really taking A control and then pivoting off elsewhere. Maybe this round they will, and maybe that'll be how they convert round 12.
Trailblazer broken, doesn't get concrete information. Just being held here by Sentinels. JungQT and Zelsis looking to try and break some of this util up through Garage, maybe force and pull some of the rotations, but Gen G firmly stuck in the mud. They are not drifting away from this A anchoring spot with 4 players ready to receive.
I think if they break the turret, it will have to pull people off A.
That's what they're going to be trying to go for here. JungQT with 40 seconds left. It's broken.
They didn't move a muscle.
Only just now, Munchkin, a TP at least, it's faked out.
The hardest of hard reads. Yeah, I mean, a Munchkin classic.
They think these rotations have occurred, but listen, Gen G, they put up all the barricades. They are ready to receive every single player. Full line over and through. Lakia inside the Cloudburst plays. Once inside of it, the wall up in their face. Sentinels cannot step past it. It's up to Sassy and more. With only 15 seconds to do it. Your options are pretty much entirely ran out. Updraft and away, fade away with a Blade Storm. It's a flourish to finish, man. And only a few seconds remain before Gen G take this lead for our first half of Haven. No time on the clock to play with. 7-5 will be what we stare at.
Incredible end to the half there. The time ended up being the worst killer at 10s.
Absolutely insane stuff.
What a way to open our first game at Champs. I feel like this rematch of Masters Madrid Finals is delivering. We've seen some awesome stuff.
Yeah, we certainly have. This has just been dominant, and what a return of the fire from Gen G after a quite slow beginning, honestly, but unorthodox, but they are in the driving seat here for Haven. Sentinels map pick of our opening match of Champs.
To the squad that won back-to-back at Lock-In and Tokyo.
I mean, their consistency is just unheard of, especially with how challenging this year has been. It's a very condensed schedule. Yep. Makes it difficult to just not feel the burnout over a certain amount of time here, but Gen G have been looking largely in charge here. The beginning here for our pistol round. It's all slow for now. Creeping and crawling up through mid, looking to see if they can get any of those early angles, just in case somebody's peeking for info on Sentinel's side. There's a trip in their face. Texture, it's going to be chewed up by that one. A couple of stray shots. Yeah, you flying it away. A tap as well for the reaction.
You can see there that Texture was intending to updraft onto the high ground inside that smoke. The trap stopped him. Cam sees a lot of this info, but it's only Zelsis home.
Yeah, peeking away. Just can't quite land the one shot that was necessary there. So Zelsis will push back that play that's occurring. The timing that's taken. Munchkin, oh, wide open. Right bit of taking. John QT's dropped.
So they tap B, fake C, walk in on A.
And it's an open site. Potentially a closed case, but still Sentinels, they do have that retake utility in their back pocket, just waiting for it to potentially come online. 17 seconds until the dart. Not too sure for the fault line. Dash still available. See if a Zekken in the back pocket. They're worried about these flanking players as well. Might find it difficult to get through, at least with this orb, but as soon as it goes down, you might see them take that timing. They are so concerned about these mid flanks.
Not ready yet.
And now the time to strike is here. Texture is way ahead of it, inside the smoke. Any sort of timings the Sentinels were looking to try and take, they've missed it already. Texture still, Sassy. That's two. They need more than that. And no one from Gen G is willing to even give him it. Ice cold from them, a tap onto the spike, no one out into the open. He has to stick it for the only win con. Gen G. Almost inevitable that they claim once more another pistol round here.
And that pistol was remarkable. The fake onto B, tapping it after Texture had failed to get onto the high ground, trying to get simultaneous C lurks and A lurks working. I don't think either of them were designed as fakes. It's more just as see which one works, right? If the guy dies over towards C, probably the guy on A is going to be able to find a timing. And my God, what a timing Munchkin found. He also got in position to throw that orb deep towards CT. As soon as the orb goes down, Karen throws a smoke and Texture's inside of it. Every part of that worked beautifully.
Yeah.
The small details are hammered out so well by Gen G. They've had a lot of practice, a lot of matches to be played this year.
Not willing to throw away that advantage they've got. Winning that pistol round. Taking it nice and slow, hoping that Sentinels will peek into them.
The cam from John QT was positioned a little further back in the previous round. It's going to be getting them good information on this side of the map.
Yeah, Trailblazer. Just a check in case there are trips there. Clears the way through most of the side. Not sure if it cleared Zekken off into the corner. They don't like what they saw. Gen G instead now moving over towards the B site. Flash overhead, no connection there. Karen will stick this one, and the gamble stack of Sentinels does not work out.
They got Viper Orb onto the plant. No Snakebite to work with, but double Nano Swarms, as long as Meteor stays alive.
And everybody's looking all over the place here. Still Sassy's way ahead of the rest of his team, looking to try and trade this one. Oh, Lakia is right there behind him. All the avenues watched, and everybody falls once more. So Gen G, it's flawless on their anti-eco. Again, looking towards that bonus round. It's going to be more than healthy. Our kill leader of Texture looking just very much in control. 14-8.
Just took over from Sassy, who's having a remarkably good game out here on Haven, but not enough. Gen G failed the first bonus. Even the best teams in the world, by the way, are still winning less than 60% of their bonus rounds. So it is a difficult round to be able to convert. But Gen G with 2 bites at the apple here on this map and a chance to run away with Haven.
Wall up. It's difficult to get the timing here. Zelsis is holding his fault line, but all the players are already way ahead of him. Sassy.
Right here.
That doesn't even stop them contacting.
There's no way.
Can't believe they didn't give it away there.
There's no way. They don't even spam. They're just all the way up, and it's all for free here. Paranoia, Flash, it's all offloaded, concatenated, out and over the top as well. It's down to 10s to hold it, locking it down. In through the back, the reset is magnanimous. This guy will not be stopped. He denies any attempt to take that A site.
Shadows traveling.
Gen G left scrambling. They should have had that. A dash into sight, an amazing flash from Zelsis to actually push them back just a moment. And Tens recovers after immediately being blinded in the midst of that exec. He's left on the floor in a 2v4.
That's what Sentinels needed. They're holding this one steady, giving up most of the A sites. Rifles are swapped around, noise is being made. plan to not even push back here, so Karen will be able to get that extension into the round, and got to feel with Gen G. That's sometimes dangerous. You don't want to give them those options and opportunities. Oh, no. Karen inside the smoke, not being cleared out, dodging, weaving, TPing away, still being watched for Meteor, 1v2. Meteor cannot land it. The transfer almost intact, but eventually it's Sentinels who paved the way to a victory.
And thankfully for Sentinels, all of TenZ hard work does not get discarded at the final hour. So they bring that gap down to 3. A little bit of damage done, not too bad for the SEN economy, but they're going to take a tactical timeout here.
It's the first one of the match.
Really beautiful play from TenZ, must be said. Second is struggling. I didn't even realize at this point, to be honest with you, because I felt like he was getting into sights fairly well, but he's 5 and 13.
Yeah, struggling quite a bit.
And Zeken's one of those players that, yeah, from a map-to-map basis, maybe you could argue.
The 1/2 armor target of texture.
Yeah, it's unlikely to find too much success. He's also been running at C.
What is this power thing that's been pinged down by Gen G? It's going all the way through garage and through the back of it. See if they make a go of it. Of course, not running a Killjoy. It's going to be gaps potentially there. We'll see if Sentinels are able to cover it.
Shadows traveling.
Just to look at the other side of the map as well. Recon Dart finally thrown out 20 seconds into the round. Because if you throw it out early, the Viper Wall is really disguising it. Zeken almost caught contact, and Munchkin's lurked his way up again. I'm not sure which one's even going to be the game changer here, A or C.
Oh, TenZ going for the peak as well as Barrels pointing out, trying to bait a shot out. There's no way. There's absolutely no way Munchkin can be blessed like this once more! He's working magic over towards the A site. We're watching a bloody repeat. He's opened it up and calls for the TP, immediate pivot. Caron, he's straight there with him. Turret broken down into mid here, but the A site is theirs. Now with texture removing John. The mid avenue completely opened up. Uncertainty into the back of Sentinel's minds, but they want to go this one thick and fast. Playing forwards here, at least with the dart in hand, and the rifles are not doing enough. It's Sassy and Zelsis up against the world. They're not being given even an easy fight in the slightest. The movement ajar, forced to save. Zelsis backing away.
And that is a brutal decision for Sentinels. Not one that they could have won at all, but their economy's going to be in a really rough state. Zelsis has got a bit of money, so has John. The rest of the team, dirt poor. Think about the way that Munchkin is getting space down short, right? If Sassy throws a recon dart at the start over towards A lobby, Munchkin's just going to play around his wall, and he's going to dodge it, and you're not going to get any good information. In fact, you might even get bad info and think it's cleared when it's not. So they need a different way of being able to get information there. You're either going to have to re-clear with the Sova drone from short, or you're going to have Zeken fight that. And Sentinels have not chosen either option. For all that they've got the rounds really close here, I think there's a ton of things that Sen could improve on this map if they ended up rematching Gen G later on in the tournament here. Or if they can figure it out mid-game.
Early spam goes either way here. Zeken's dropped down to 48 health. Still ice cold. Watching for any sort of mid presence.
One of those spots where you might want to just give the gun over to, to your teammate. It's rough though, because Zeken really wanted to try to get aggro, but with only 48 health, what can you do?
And already the space is taken up here by Gen G. Another perfect read.
Munchkin's IGL in. It is magnificent. I think people maybe didn't credit it as much at the start of the year, but defense side hard reads, attack side he finds the gaps so often.
These lurks on top of it, it's all coming together. This guy is just, he's a beast right now this entire year.
He really has been.
Deep flash, fault line onto texture, but there's plenty more util where that came from, buckets of it. Paranoia for a paranoia, just pushing them back and away. Sentinels be lucky to get anything. Still, Caron drop towards the back. Texture, phantom play, and after 4 beast, ace stolen away.
Another ace.
Gotta feel for him, man. You gotta feel for him.
This has been happening in Pacific over and over again. in. The last ace that Texture got was in April, man. He's had 12 4Ks.
Smiling. Oh my God.
He's had 12 4Ks since his last ace. Look at him. This one should have been it.
It should have been it.
The drought should have finally ended. He's so funny.
Oh man.
I do love Texture. But can Sentinels find an answer? Now that they've got rifles back in hand, the gap has opened up to 5. It's almost looking insurmountable. It has to be now.
It has to shift now, doesn't it? Updraft, dash, up and over. Flash to follow it up as well. Nobody's in sight lines of Texture. He's given up almost entirely and he's put the squeeze onto the Sentinels player. They heard all that util. They don't know which way to look and they can't even get the kill drips online. Phone line, that's a potential team utility to just colliding and clashing into them. Hunter's Fury, it's panicked, it's offloaded. And desperation does not work out for Sentinels, not this time. They did not know how to react to that.
Very nice pathing to bring out in a crucial round, and Texture's looking to close it.
And he's just
Only
right in his
10s left.
face. Right click, but followed up by Lakia. That's the 12th round. And Gen G one step now. That's all they have to take to lock up this map.
And I think if there was one round you could point to show that divergence of trajectories we were talking about at the start of this cast, where Gen G have just gone from success to success, building on their grand finals appearance at Madrid, compared to Sentinels, who've struggled really to recapture that magic. I think this round would be it. A beautiful call, fantastic pathing, and take those fights, and Zekken is capable of doing that kind of stuff. But Sentinels have decided they need him in Garage, maybe to try some kind of early peak.
Yes, this should do.
A lot of players going to be watching though. Gen G. That's Paranoia primed and ready in case there is that early aggression. Contact plays are called. And this is Gen G looking for that closer. No signs over towards Garage. Instead, they set it over towards the B site. Celsius is watching this. Smoke up in his face. Flash up and over, Karen with a TP and even a committal to the plan, but that's an aftershock to push him back and away. Dash still there, Zekken spots it. Here's the one, but nobody's giving him an easy fight. Meteor dashing and backing away, still with his B-side control. Texture, he's gone straight past it! And in front of that fault line, still won't survive. He's with the trade there. Flash in and through, over the back, 4v4. Plant down, Norofef gives him that information, and a sight hold might be exactly what Gen G are looking to cook up. Munchkin still with that orb up in their face. Darts and a Paranoia follows through, flooding back and away. Sight players cleared up, rolling thunder, committed now to the front. Sentinels have got to try and strike at least when he irons hard and try and find these kills. There's one, 2 left to deal with, finding them one after another.
Around exactly when they needed it, just as Gen G had got up to map point. We saw the same level of ideas from Gen G there. Going for the B exec, okay, that gets stunted by an aftershock from Zelsis. Let's try to pivot and crunch the player's Garage. That also gets shut down by Zelsis. Then the Breach ult is online. It's just a massive round from the Vibes Merchant. Selling wins as well here, but he needs to be doing more of it. The whole team needs to be doing more of it. It's not just down to him.
No, I can't really focus on individuals, despite the fact, you know, Zekken is sitting at the bottom of the scoreboard. It's been a while since he's even got a kill. It's more just the idea is going to miss. For him to offer any sort of bailout.
At the same time, you do want to be putting your duelist in a position to influence the round, right? And so the fact that we haven't really seen Zekken in those spots is a bit concerning. You know, again here, he's looking to try to find fights over towards B, and Gen G are heading in a different direction.
Trailblazer is never getting broken. It's just being given free reign to clear the way. Give space for Gen G.
I think you're worried in that kind of spot if you break the Trailblazer. The Texture's right behind it.
And that's an interesting peek. Still Zekken makes the adjustment.
There's
Snaps
the
it to the
value.
cranium, and there is the value. It had to come about through that sheer mechanical skill.
Here comes Munchkin. He's trying one of these classic A-lurks. Tens has been watching for it. He refuses to get duped again.
But there's a chance for the timings to be missed here. And which way is it going to look? Adjustment again. Mirrored plays from Tens and Zekken. Pushes Gen G back. It's just lurks and lurks. Yeah.
It's the same again. Lurk up A and lurk up C at the same time. One gets broken, the other doesn't.
Yeah. Trip broken. Meteor. It's got an open side for them.
30 seconds left.
A 3v5 though, Brent. They're not going to close out the map here, surely.
But it's Gen G. You never know with this team. They really shouldn't.
Full breach utility for Zelsis. Sassy's going to have Recon coming back online, but you probably don't want to wait for it.
And there's the first Shocky. Preemptive, at least with the det, so one of the Nana Swarms is off. Meteor finds it, still traded. Charon, that's a sweep from behind here now. The backstab, but maybe just pushing back in a way. Lakia needs support and he needs help if this is even going to be doable. Flash in through the box, smoke is up in his face. A tap in his way, that's a bit of spam to follow up. Charon, and now a lot more to do. Spike being defused, stuck fully, and Ten's there to defend him. Sentinels are still alive in this map. They're not going to be going down one map just yet.
6 chances for Gen.G to close, now down to 4. The Sentinels pick up 2 retakes, both times happy to allow Gen.G to get into the site, but then making sure that they deal with any extraneous threats. I mean, in this situation, they had a big player advantage too. It was a nice shot from Zekken. He's going to now pick up the Operator heading into round 21. This is, I think, the first time that we've seen him with an op in hand, right?
Yeah.
He had 2 Outlaws earlier.
It's definitely been rough for them to salvage that money together, but he's found many targets. Still a smoke in his face. We'll push him back. Not going to be given that early sight line. Texture's even watching just in case he is updraft up onto the box. They don't like what they see. And they got to know that the money is available for that Operator. It should be at the back of their minds as long as they're looking at the scoreboard.
That flash, down A short, and now the Trailblazer indicating that Munchkin did not find an early timing. Sentinels were not sure, but now they should have a good idea that this is actually the pack of Gen.G.
How do you anchor it? Locked down, it's unconventional. Doesn't really stretch all the way out towards this A side. Sassy, drone, spots it. They're wondering if this is potentially fake pressure. Tens overstaying it, just about escaping. 50 HP though, and now it's being fully committed. The Molly at their feet as well. They are separating these players, picking them apart. Nobody is allowed to anger this site. To set up and execute, the pit drop down, man. And Tens has got to make a play. He's already found it, whipping it around. Meteor, rifle in hand, leaving it to the 2. And only the Blade Storm. A rifle for John QT. They're going to need to be handed a couple of easy kills, but Meteor will not give them anything at all. A 4K to finish up the map. Heavy favorites here. I mean, this is an Ascent map that they are potentially the best in the world at, I think, currently, for teams at the event.
Yeah.
They look so damn good, and for Sentinels, as much as there's not been a lot of tape on them with this comp, it is not a good map right now for them. They have to come out with some miracles, and it has to start here with the pistol round.
They've gone for that double sheriff approach.
And a double fight out through, straight from tiles. Does not work out in their favor. Player disadvantage now.
Munchkin figuring out, how can I go for a lurk against this? It's a decent counter to what Munchkin was doing on the previous map, but also the fact that the wall is used so early. Generally, you want to be playing slow attack sides against the deadlock, and the wall struggles to get value.
Lakia might be considering a drone up close here. John, was that a grab net? Slow down the approach here. There's a flash overhead as well, but now looking to try and anchor back in a way. Sassy supplementing it. Couple of shots now fired off and Rasseled in through the smoke. No punish just yet. Still dropping down low, but it all lays down now into the lap of John QT. What can he do? A lot of players now here in the drop down, skipping a hop right through, and it does set up the bait and switch. Charon happy to oblige, straight in there. Now the plant coming online.
Zelsis coming around behind as well. Are they going to think about B main when they just exec from this?
That's right. It should be nice. Not quite. Munchkin was the only one to actually collect any sort of B main presence. Now walking his way through, baiting, Texture, dropping back in a way. Texture and Charon. These guys have been difference makers. And once more, they're going to stand to the test here. The dart is avoided and dodged to the back, and the shots just not connecting for Sassy. Only 4 HP and a dream it will just remain to be. It's a pistol round for Gen.G. Nothing out of the ordinary for this squad.
Not at all. 3 out of 3 in the series. I think it would be wrong to say that Haven came down to the pistol rounds. I think Gen.G were the better team there. But an entire series where you don't win pistols is almost impossible to win. SEN need to be working on these. They didn't get a good beginning to it, and Gen.G managed to close it out there towards the end as well, just hitting good shots. Double body shots all over the place with those sheriffs.
Gamble here by Sentinels. Knife not dodged just by Zelsis. I believe. He's the only one who looks like he is suppressed right now. Hoping that Gen G might just walk into it, but
Yeah.
listen, they weren't born yesterday, but this team are too diligent.
It's quite a nice trap play, though, because if the cam is found over towards B, you're expecting trap plays to be run off the Cypher cam usually. And this one's off deadlock contact. So I think there's a chance that it gets value, especially considering Munchkin and Karen's positioning. But right now, they're not taking an inch.
No. No steps forwards. Waiting it out. Making either team stew, to be honest. It's a series of unknowns going through their heads.
And as TenZ takes contact, this whole trap is going to fall to pieces.
Paranoia in his hands. He's just jiggling out with the util. Does get a good connection. Three players going to be pushed back and away, and a TP as well for himself. Just to disengage. GravNet calling. The play is made. Karen! You got to be joking. Just with that Sheriff in hand. Goodness me. Even when the ideas are good, even when they try and go for the preemptive strike, it's still not good enough. I got to see that again. Show it from his POV or something, man. I mean,
the amount of 4Ks that we're seeing coming out from Gen G as well, where one player just steps up and takes over the round.
Yeah.
Karen's got 8 kills already. What on earth are we watching? And that means they've got 3 rifles for the bonus too. I mean, take a look at these shots. GravNet comes out.
Listen, dude, I mean, come on. I know it's against an eco, but still, as a GravNet, he's locked down in place.
Yeah.
He's ice cold.
Sentinels, Odin comes online for Sassy. He can try to reinforce the B site. It's super difficult to get through right now. A nice shock dart from Lakia as well, getting rid of that sonic sensor. I don't think John pulled it back in time. B looks devastatingly difficult to hit though, especially if Sassy was Odin wallbanging this, but he is rotating off.
Yeah, timing potentially missed there for Sentinels up through mid. Gen G has the makings of a B split, putting a lot of pressure and asks onto Zelsis.
Right here.
So the cam covers this. Off cam contact, Sassy can spam, but it's not a great spam angle. It's good for damage, not good for kills usually.
That tags onto Zelsis. The setup is going to be dropped down and away here, walking through.
I say that.
Sassy, bit of spam damage. Just through the choke point. Gen G still going to get easy access though to that B site. So Plant will be online and inside for them second. Biding his time, hoping that somebody will just open themselves up, but as the doors drop down, Texture! You gotta be joking!
You're not allowed to do that!
There's no way! Running and gunning inside the Cloudburst. Taking names. 4v4. Too much to clear, surely. Meteor crouched up. This is unorthodox in terms of the angle, and of course it is! Rips them all away!
Dismantling all of the trap setups here, taking out the cam early, making sure that Sassy doesn't have that wallbang spot. He goes over, gets a kill in the other side, and then Gen G are pulling kills out of really unexpected spots. The one from Texture, I'm sorry, that one's illegal. That one is illegal. But Meteor's play as well, it's so nice. They've got Karen ready to back him up if indeed he needed it.
Yeah.
Texture is also there playing aggro. It's not just a solo play, that. And yet, even if it was a solo play, he still would have won the round for them. That's the power of this Gen G team.
Right here.
Each of their players has got such a nice read on the game. And I think we don't remember enough what player development they've done too. Meteor was a bit of an all-aim, no-brain duelist player before he joined this team.
Certainly was.
Now, all of the aim, and a brain to match.
Yeah, and a team as well that's just right there beside him, all on the same page, cooking up plays together. They're aware of just any obstacles that might face them as well. You can see it just the way that they even approach rounds like this. It's against an eco round. A lot of teams will sometimes just run it straight into a site, full disrespect, but Gen G, they slow it down. They make sure that they can methodically try and pick apart what at least Sentinels are doing. If there were any concerns, I think, about Gen G potentially being shaky and home soil and a home crowd, listen, that was kind of pushed back at Shanghai when they were literally the villains. All the way through, it's an open side again over towards A.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, what incredible range of emotions that they will have experienced in their last 2 international events. Madrid, a crowd that was neutral towards them. Shanghai, a crowd that disdain them, I think. And then here, where they're the hometown heroes.
The idols, man, on the big stage.
I was walking in today, and as they rolled up, some fans, it's like the back of the building where people don't really, you know, think to come. It's not like Gen.G announced what time they were going to arrive at the venue.
Yeah.
People, fans from Seoul, clustered, watching them exit the van, screaming at the Gen.G players. This team is popular out here.
Absolutely.
And they'll be even more popular if they have a big run at champs, or even if we can dare to dream, if they can dare to dream, lift the trophy.
They've already done it once. First time it's been done for Pacific. That was Gen.G who did it. Despite the expectations, I think most of us were probably looking towards a team like PaperX, maybe even DRX at points to be that team. But
Here.
they've had a crazy story from the beginning of this year where the expectations were honestly at their lowest here, and a lot's going to be asked for again of 10 to smoke down. What is that? Adjustment and expectation for Texture, but he's already in through the site, and the main players happy to fire through and follow up on all of it. So despite the heroics, it might not even be enough here for Sentinels. No command. Supers its way, but finally fading, and now a very deep lockdown is going to be used by Meteor. Drone broken, slight tag, double faced up and out, but just missing the shot.
Are they even going to get out?
I don't know. Detainment
All
onto
three?
three. Yeah, all three.
All three
Time to hunt.
detained?
It's time to chase.
Spike
They know
planted.
it. They can feel it. Texture. Time waits out. Oh my. Barely skirting away. It's going to be a comedic finish at around here, potentially. A punishment in sight. There's still time here for Sentinels to make a play towards this one, but second retake, but the operator again adds another level of difficulty. It's all about how they manage this one as well. That late backstab that might be occurring from Meteor. Is it going to be caught? Zelsis sticking out onto the fuse, half already. He's brought that win con, covering for it over the shoulder. Zelsis dropping him.
There is no way
That's ridiculous.
that Sentinels have just won a round where all three of the retakers got detained. There is no way that I just watched that. There's no chance. I must have got something wrong. Surely that was John Cutie's ultimate. What?
The
brain is baffled and befuddled.
It all started with tens. This guy here, I said he's going to have to do a lot there in that spot, and he did. He delivered. He got the two that was needed. And as soon as the detainment wasn't followed up on, offered up an easy kill onto Texture.
I mean, it's not like Texture really could have followed up on it, I don't
No, it
think.
was so far away.
All right, so that's a bizarre round for Sentinels to get on the board. I don't think you'll ever see anything like that one again. Certainly not replicable, if you want to talk about that. But they keep the Odin. It's magnificent for their economy, which could have been shattered.
Revealing area.
Always away, start gassing up a team in terms of the storylines about them lifting trophies, and then watch the fumble in place. Operator held, but not the back. Still a few shots fired off as well. At least that drone has to be broken. Zelsis locks it down, holds the line, and now evacuates back and away. An adjustment of bullet straight through the wall, and spam from the Odin will supplement all.
One enemy
That is it. Sentinels,
Spike down,
complete
B.
control of this B site. Spike dropped down, and with the trip, alerting them exactly to where Munchkin's presence is. It's another round that's inevitable here for Sentinels, and at least that second one, Justin Flick missed, at least with the op.
It is inevitable.
It should be. Unless you give him the ones, we're blinded up. Ten's happy to just jump on the chance and pounces straight into mid. So maybe this is what we were looking for from Sentinels.
That was a better defensive setup. When you're running a Cypher deadlock composition, I think most of the time you're going to be wanting to try to hit them as they come through choke points or as they hit your utility. You're looking to follow up on trips, on stuns, to op them or Odin them before they even exit and get into the site. That's one of the rounds where we actually see Sentinels comp functioning. And because Zelsis was able to win a really crucial duel against Meteor too. So what have Gen.G got? It's going to be Zekken looking towards top mid, hoping they can get a cheeky one at the beginning against somebody like Meteor.
Drone up though. This will push him back. It needs to be broken by the rifle fire, but it's not done in time. And almost a punishment there. It was an over the top with the knife, almost getting that suppression off. He wouldn't have been able to escape.
Look at this deep trip though. The trip is not where that shock dart just went for it. It's all the way close towards mid. Almost right where Meteor's back was.
Yeah, so Lackey's shock darts that he's fired off, offloaded into mid. Not going to be getting too much value. Tens has to use the TPs, barely out of dodge. Annihilation, there's a connection. Molly down and
That's
through.
the spike.
Texture has to drop them. He's through and out. They're going to try and flood themselves in. Gen.G Happy to fight them straight back at you. Second, Bladestorm now increasing that tempo and even offered up a rifle. Charon now with the plant. 2v3. Dart fired off. No reveals in sight, but jumps round and through and away with a right click. Zekken, he's on his way to an ace. But Lackey in his back pocket, at least with that Hunter's Fury, he's got that backup plan and policy. Charon still going to be nested up, holding deep tucked onto the A side. It's a difficult player to try and clear. And Sentinels now making a call to double up. They don't have a dart. It's 20 seconds until that arrives, and it's going to be too late if they try and wait this one out and through. Time already ticking. Smoke is just mind games from Charon, making them spam away, and they got to stick this one here, and they still haven't found it. Wincons are just dashed away to the wind. Time? And there is no time. Ticking at this point. Sassy knows it. Gen G with their 5th.
We are seeing some ridiculous situations out here. Watching Lakia be taking out Karen with the Hunter's Fury towards the end, but just making sure that Sova ult was in play, just in case his his Smokes player fell in hell. Gen G take another one. And this is a round where it looked like Sentinels, again, their system was working. They got the Annihilation off. It grabbed a player with the spike. But I don't think they were anticipating as heavily that it was an A split and someone could retrieve that player. Pulled out of Shelob's grasp at the final moment. And we're into the next round, where Munchkin, I think, is the player to watch here. That null command is spectacularly powerful against Sentinel's composition. And you see here that John has put his stuns on the exact opposite side of the map.
Hoping if the ult does get ripped off out towards the A site, they'll be able to at least play around, like you said, the sensors, the stuns.
In some sense, Zelsis is the bait here. He kind of wants to be seen, be shown, and then you run into A and forget about the deadlock util.
Right here.
Knife over the top.
Revealing area.
Tag out through main darts. Meteor barely alive. Dyson with death there, buddy. Drop down to 8 health. Will be able to survive though, and now regroup with the rest of his team.
A split, null command. Watch out for these sensors.
Yeah. The pressure's going to be on immediately. What have they got to even answer this? Flash clear. Cam over the top here. No command as well as the dart. Does reveal all. Both players, in fact. Tens and Zelsis, the position is noted. Recognized, stunned up, but there's no follow-up. Tens, he can't take these easy fights. He's worried about it. He swung from main as well, picked it apart. I mean, methodical is what you call that. Gen G, there was no easy access, no fair fight to be taken for the anchoring players. Dodging and weaving the entire way through.
The Gen G protocols on attack, when they hit the A site, they're magnificent. They're always guns out, not scaling too deep into the site, holding, waiting for that peek from the defender, holding heaven, waiting for the backup to arrive. You know, making sure that they're not caught in transition, running forward, trying to rush things.
It's the little jiggles of movement, just trying to bait them out, and it just makes the anchoring players feel so alone.
Yeah. You don't know if someone's going to run at you from left side, from right side Jenny. You don't know if someone's going to run at you from Dice. And the whole time, Gen G are actually just making you afraid, making you swing, and then ready to punish you. It's really excellent stuff. All the best teams in the world are going to have some level of that approach to the A site, but Gen G looking perfect with it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, anyway, that makes them best in the world on this map. I think they're demonstrating it here. You're noticing as well that the deadlock, I gotta say, it's finding very little value.
Yeah.
The walls, it's difficult to find a good timing to use that mesh barrier, or barrier mesh, sorry, because Munchkin's happy to call a slow round where it just expires. So if you use it in the mid round, okay, that's fine, but
into this round.
I think that's because Karen is about to ult over there, though.
Okay, all right. Show me something, Gen G. Show me what you've been cooking. Well, might be that potential for it to spot out these players. Early paranoia lets him take that control out towards A. Tens in through Wine. He's in danger though. Has to dodge and around way. Can't survive it. Karen out the back. John QT. That's a bullet to the brain. With him dropped off now, there's possibilities and options are now opening themselves here for Sentinels. The barrier mesh not to be broken. Doesn't even stop the bullets as well. Still with those sight lines just being set by these Sentinels players. Zeken's got it.
Great adaptation from Sen. Surely Gen G
There's
can't
no
recover
way.
it.
There's no
I
way.
mean, John is stuck here.
They know where he is. There's now no swarm to try and clear him out of that corner.
If it hadn't missed, John would be a dead man.
And he has called for the reinforcements. 2 players ready to at least swing off of his contact. Dart is broken here and through John. Finally delivering the reset from Meteor. Not enough to see he can at least find a way to pave his way to that victory in the round. So Sentinels are still alive. For now, it feels like almost every single round is just on the precipice. It's almost incredibly labored, but they are managing to string them together.
Yeah, and I think good, you gotta credit the tactical timeout there. They get 10s into wine. Could he have been cleared? Absolutely. Should Texture have maybe waited a second for the fragment grenade to come through? Yeah, also. Yeah. But 10s does get the value from his positioning there. And on top of that, there are multiple layers of backup. John is fighting it. Zeken's got the op there too. And now Zeken makes his way over with the operator to Cat. Like I said, this is a spot that Gen G have been walking down. If they feel bold enough to go for something where, you know, they can smoke off tiles and have him peek towards top mid, Zeken could try to get more bold than he is. Problem is, normally you need teammates to help you, and this is quite a passive comp.
Yeah.
You don't have a KO player or a Killjoy player that really wants to be holding angles for your op.
Gen G just trying to sow a bit of confusion into this round. They've already inserted Charon right at the beginning. He has a main control. And now looking to see if they can break some of this util towards B, farm up the orbs.
And if he does farm the orb, he'll have the null command.
Are you going to try and fake this one or what? No, Texture's back up towards
because
mid.
Because Munchkin didn't have ult to start the round, Xelsis is not in an anti-KO ult spot. You know, both Sentinels are playing next to their utility, which means null command is used and all of it goes offline.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to worry about that one when it's looking like it's heading towards that A side as well, again being called. But it's 30 seconds now into the round. It's getting a bit, I think, a little bit tight here in terms of the timing for Gen G. They have to make a good go of things, and it's all expected. Stack of players are Sentinels.
First time the wall's in the right spot.
Yeah, and there it is, dropping them off here with an ult command. It's going to be sweeping through now. Dart around to the side. Texture is not watched for. This guy was already just fast up onto the line, and with all the util down, again, you might as well roll out the red carpet. Plant down now. Gen G are ready. They've got the protocols in place just in case there are signs of that util. Meteor holding it tucked up close as well. There's no follow-up. Again, still up and over. Able to trade it. The door into their face and a full sight defense occurring here by Gen G. Nobody looking to try and repurpose out through A main. Everybody locked onto the sites here, but the one way they choose to fight this one. They want to hold it down, and again, this retake is getting more and more difficult. Dart immediately dealt with. Time is ticking away. Sentinels running out of those options. Double up, high-low. Gonna try and push them back and away. Lakia, last one left, and he will fall in the end. So, just in time here for Sentinels, I believe.
Yeah, only about a second on the clock, though.
Whoa.
Look at that.
Yeah, right on the money.
A good round from Sen there in terms of how they squeezed Gen G. That pressure coming through, double swing over towards Heaven, making sure that they dominate that angle. The Gen G players in the post plant couldn't hold it, ended up giving that up and tucking into positions like Dice and Hell. At that point, Sen have found their opportunity. Crucial kill. And Gen G gonna take their first tactical time. Didn't make Shanghai. Xelsis has still been good. It's actually been John who's dropped off in terms of his fragging, his output a little bit, compared to his astonishingly strong Madrid performance, where they lifted that trophy. I'm paying attention to John and how he gets his rifle impact in a lot of these rounds here at Champs.
Zeken not caught in the transition there, just trying to exit out of Wine, and there's plenty more players where that came from. Gen G, we're going to try and go into this one. Fast tempo, increased 10s, taken out. Zeken followed up to trade in sight. Only gets the one down, which was Texture. Dart revealing quite a few of them. Locked down by Meteor. This is unconventional.
I like it, though. You know, we saw Sentinels before get 3 detained and still win the round. They're in a 3v4 situation here, though, and this should allow a great plan. I mean, this one also planted for short. If they wanted to send somebody on a wraparound,
very heads up.
Perhaps Lakia is going to take that option.
Right here.
It's around here. Drone's going to be used again. Set that stage here. Tag up, got to remove it. It's first piece of util for it, but Gen.G, stalwart defense that they've really cooked up here now that they've at least taken control of the site. Look at that. As soon as they hear the footsteps and the util, it's a dart and spam out from below, and already the players have repositioned. Spike is ticking away, and Sentinels realize it. Has to be that save, have to back away.
One enemy remaining.
How many rounds do Sentinels need, even if they were able to get pistol, their first of the match, and be able to carry some momentum forwards on their attack half? I think anybody that wants to see SEN recover on Ascent here, got to be hoping that they get this round 12.
Yeah.
It's looking dire without it. An 8-4 half, not unusual on Ascent, but it's usually the other way around, where you get your defenders in the lead.
With how dominant Gen.G have been on the pistol rounds, you know, if it follows the same course, you're looking at like an 8-4 turning into a 10-4.
Yeah, and at that point, it's just curtains.
Yeah.
There's no recovery there. Zellsis coming into this round with a broken economy, Stinger, Guardian, but they still have those big heavy hitter weapons of the Op and Odin.
It's a weird buy. Bit of a mixture.
Second hasn't been able to really walk in front of these smokes, keeps getting pushed back and back, but he is getting the kills.
Take flight.
Lovely util to clear out mid here. Sassy with the drone. Good timing on it, but the question is, do they hear that most of Gen.G are already up in through Cat? Straight through the smoke. Disrespect is being shown by them. Sentinels do have stay main control. Shot missing. John now with the barrier mesh. Looking to lock him out of this spot here, but it will be spammed down. There's a nade in sight, but no smoke for the cross. Only popped down a little bit too late there, so Zekken happy to pick them apart. 10's ADS up. Can't quite manage it. I mean, it's Charon.
And the stun does nothing in A main.
Push them back and away. Gen.G slowing it down, getting quirky with these timings. There's a stun. They can hear the sensors. Texture removes one of them. So much uncertainty. Rapid into their heads. They spot the player. Texture shoulder just peeking out, and yet still squares up to it. The challenge is met. And now drop down onto the site. Options thoroughly opened. Gen.G having to take their timing with it. You can look at the peak timing, but still missing with the shot as well. He can't quite do it. Has to pull out the shorty. Zekken, not a chance. Doesn't stand it. And leaves it to just two. Munchkin is low. Could be an opening. Lakia will fall.
This
Stinger
is
movement in play.
So doable for Sentinels. The health advantage is massive.
Now picking up the upgrade too with a rifle. Cam should be clearing at least a portion of it, but you don't know there's blind spots. Munchkin peeks. They know where he is. 4 seconds until the dart. Spamming away into hell. Just in case that reposition is there. Dart round towards the back. They spot the main player out. They're all falling low. And again, it has to be Munchkin as that playmaker finds the one. Peaking timing off of it. Only 5 bullets left, but a tap from Sassy as well. It's all so unlikely for him, and he needs to hit the second. Time ticking. Forced to stick it, and time not enough on Sen's side.
It's an 8-4 half where Gen.G on the attack side look absolutely dominant. Trying to stamp their mark early on Ascent here at Champions. Home territory of Seoul, home territory of Ascent. I think showcasing that they really are the best in the world on this map.
Yeah.
There wasn't so much an exec in that final round as they just walked up with an operator.
Still found the openings though. I mean, listen, this team is so good at picking apart all sorts of it. And for the pistol round, that's what we're looking towards. Gen.G indomitable so far.
5 rounds away from being able to move on in their group.
Yeah. Let's take a look then. Sentinels. They're the ones that have to be the playmakers. Gen.G also going for a bit of a proactive play. Zatar's crunch on the pistol.
They love running set plays on the defense side, Gen.G. They will constantly try to push the tempo up. Happy to play retake.
Yeah.
Against this comp, though, I don't think they should be too happy to play retake. You're going to be running into, you know, gravnet, trips, stuns.
For now, though, the util is going to be lacking ever so slightly onto the pistol. Zellsis forced to lock down. Watch this flank angle. Just gets barely the 2 shots off. Not enough to drop Charon. So the trade is there, but Zekken taking a cheeky peek. Up through heaven, clears that one out, and now has to be aware that there is that flank occurring. Watchful eyes perched up. Probably a high-low as well, and the smoke make it nice and easy. Charon trying to at least split up the site. Create that timing and opening for Meteor, potentially there. He's already out though, and the players are straight through and out. The whiff might cost them still. Dart forwards. Forces the issue out of Texture, and they do clean it up. So Sentinels, a pistol round under their belt, maybe something to work with.
First of the series could not have come at a better time, a more needed time. It probably would have been game over had they lost that one.
Yeah.
Beautiful dart as well from Sassy. They immediately dominated those smokes that Karen threw out there, which I think is the correct play. The dart forced somebody in. Sassy deals with them. He's having a good game today, Sassy. They're going to need more than this, though. We've seen teams utilizing this Cypher deadlock composition. You kind of piece by piece take the map. You know, take a main, throw down a sonic sensor, take a little bit of extra space, put your trip into position or something.
That's a fight to be taken here. Nader defeat, though. Has to push them back in a way, at least with the rifle spam. Able to take down another of these Gen G players, but he might have just done enough damage. Still, weapons are going to be exchanged, making sure that there's no waste.
And any Gen G pushes on other parts of the map should be able to be identified. You're always going to be running into a trip or a cam or somebody watching the flank.
Okay,
What is that timing?
Pure instinct from Caron. He's TP'd in and away. There's a slight gap.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, he's caught.
You're stuck.
It's still Sentinels choose not to commit. I think they've seen enough bodies there. Signs of life from Gen G that they call this pause. They do have 45 seconds. You can't let anything else slip, though, if you are Sentinels. It's a 3v3 in a crossfire setup. Baiting the shots. Caron's there. Meteor alongside it. Do not lose this one, Sentinels. Your best chance in a bloody long time, and you got to clean it up. Lakia left alone. 20 seconds. Still, they don't know where this guy is, but the door's going to be closing. Nobody stepping past it. Just spots defeat. Breaking the door, trying to take the fight. It's a little bit uncertain, man. I mean, okay, they do get the anti-eco, but at the cost of losing 3 of their players, 3 of their guns is not going to be a healthy bonus.
I mean, you saw it on the faces there as Elsis and Sassy. They're both wiping their brow, literally. I know it's hot in here. Golden Boy talked about it before. It is warm in Korea right now. But that one's more of a sign of relief than a sign of the heat. SEN closed the gap to 2, but the bonus is not going to look pretty. They only kept the Phantom, Guardian. They've got a Stinger to work with here. It's not much. A bit of damage. Maybe even just building up to one of these ults like the Annihilation for John so that he could maybe work a pick in round 16. These are the kind of things that would be a success in the round, I think, for SEN.
Flash peek. Smoke though from... He's pushed up in front of Karen's face. Not able to get value, just being held by the Sentinels players. They don't have particularly spread out default, but they do have somebody util cam and a trip to hold deep B push.
Yeah, we're seeing Sentinels take a main, but they're not actually leaving utility there. Normally with this composition, I would expect to see Sonic Sensor be put down there or some kind of, you know, trip or leave a player, deposit somebody into a main.
Yeah.
Now they're going back in though. Sassy looking to try to drone and disguise the fact.
Yeah, Sentinels trying to make this one feel like it could potentially be that B split.
Yeah, that's a weird one because they faked a B split as they were droning A.
Right, so Gen G are kind of aware of this one. Munchkin, it's an off angle and he's got to deliver. Will do with the first. Occasion his face, preemptive spam will lay claim to a multitude of kills. And it leaves it just down to 10s, up and over, not enough. Can't overcome it.
That Champions Trophy blinks into and out of existence, floating, tinting, taunting the players. Rifles back online, though, for SEN. An opportunity for them to showcase what they've been working on. We haven't seen them play too much of this map.
No.
But we've seen the Cypher deadlock. We know that it's got at least some good fundamentals to work on. Gonna need to see Zelsys trading out stuff like this, though.
Yeah, there's going to be an early fight occurring into this next round. Tiles peeked out by Texture.
The Cypher should be able to take a little more aggro B main control as well.
destroyed. Cage triggered.
Trip broken, Zelsys not ready for that one. Not looking to use his cam to take super aggro B main either. It is a bit more of a passive approach to SEN than we've seen from other teams running this comp. Tentative.
Yeah, looking for those openings, Gen.G. Not going to give them too much, though. Shock Dart, just out of range, I think, to do damage enough to break the alarm bot.
That's a very weak alarm bot.
Yeah. Can't see the health bar, but I'm sure it'll be minuscule.
Be crazy if the alarm bot clutched now. 1 HP.
A bit of spam, though. It's going to be exchanged now here. Turret at least broken. Meteor, he is not shy, is he? This guy is happy to push back up.
Ahead.
Make it really difficult to take any B main control. Already breaking that cam, backing away. 38 seconds.
They got a deep wall down mid, but they didn't break the alarm bot. So
What is the call?
they've got to go into a B split.
30
There's
seconds
plenty
left.
players ready to meet them. Gen.G tucked up to crossfire setup. Logs to the corner. Lakia has to do a lot here. It's running and gunning to trade it up, but they weren't expecting, and again Meteor delivers to death blow. And it might just be an around-winning moment. Indeed it is. A three-piece to finish it. 10-6 Gen.G. Looking on pace now to just take this map away.
Yeah, that's going to knock the economy for Sentinels. Could be the death blow. I love that smoke. Everybody's throwing that same smoke now. Learn it for your ranked games as well. The one-way cross-map helps out your players to defend against the B-split. Perfect from Karen, and it sets up this crossfire so beautifully. And Lucky is tucked into a corner. The Sentinels players, as they come out, they're checking stairs, wondering if someone's peeking from there. Because Meteor, he loves to play that spot.
Yeah.
Then they check switch, because you never know, Texture could be playing in that kind of position. There's just so many ways that Gen.G could be threatening you on defense. It's difficult to account for them all. It just helps every aspect of their game. That constant war of attrition that Gen.G force you to fight.
Half buys the Sentinels. Be rare to see a return on those investments. Caron still locks it up here. That's spam. Being offloaded, Texture does manage to at least get two, but it's even out and it has handed guns over.
Yeah, that's a major win for Sentinels.
Munchkin, there's a drone in his face. It's not being watched. Into the smoke. The awareness is off the charts.
Down A.
He doesn't go for the easy kill, but now he knows the TenZ is lurking. Not long for the world. But again, another high game IQ moment from Munchkin there. He hears the drone. He knows that Sassy is going to be occupied in that moment. Instead, takes the peek to the player with the gun.
Yeah, that's so good. And also getting the read that that player is going to be on the left.
Yeah.
He knows that there's a rifle down in that kind of situation, predicts the timing. I mean, timing's the drone as well, beautifully. And a situation that was looking like a potential win condition for Sentinels, ripped out of their hands so quickly. They're now going to have to find a different avenue of success. Sassy with the Odin ready to counter spam. But Texture, he hasn't been walking up B main with the op yet. This has been Meteor's domain. And they're going to expect him to be here.
Deep shock darts, not enough to clear this trip here. Sassy. It's a drone for a drone. Texture, he's hiding from it. Again, sowing misinformation. Shot missed though, Hunter's Fury. This feels like it's quite a committed push. And damage done, even a kill for Sassy, may be enough to pave the way. It calls for that reinforcement. Karen instantly TPs.
Very good ult from Sassy. Very good read to now go for an A split.
They've pulled these players apart, but Munchkin again could be that thorn in their side. Once more, weapon glowing. This guy is on fire. GravNet gets that confirmation potentially there. Flood defending in, right through the back. Annihilation and clearing in and through. Sentinels do have the necessary plays. You don't want to be handing care on too many more, though. They're doubled up holding this one, side by side. Bit of spam hailing down the lead, so still in it, at least for now, Sentinels.
Great call from John. As soon as you hear that ult being used, I think it's very likely they're sticking the teleport into back B. He decides to send things on an A split, anticipating that A is weaker. And Munchkin's already realized what's happening and sent a couple players over there, but Sen grouped up, decisive, love to see it. And Sassy continues to have one of the best games that I've seen from him in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
He was top of the scoreboard for a hot minute there on Haven, and now he's back up, at least on the Sentinel side, with 13 kills. Having a great day.
Doesn't get much easier, though. This time, Texture going walkabout up through mid. Angle's being held for him. He's hoping that somebody will just wade right into it. Dash is fading. This is hyper committed.
This is the kind of thing that Zekken just couldn't do.
And Zekken's holding to pixel angle. Oh, but no! Just missed it. The crossover texture takes it away. Caron, heavy committed now into bottom mid. He needs to be defended and he needs some help to get out of here. That's what the drone is for. Up and over.
Right here.
Clears the path.
When Lakia and Karen are willing to be that aggressive, it allows Texture to do this.
This is not potentially getting cleared off. Angle traded. But again, reinforcements are there. Out through the back of the side. That's TenZ committing! Caron! He dominates the smoke. He will not be stopped. And a paranoia puts TenZ in his place.
The recon in that position is supposed to stop Karen from doing that. Your recon, he's caught out in the open, has to break it, gives away his position, forced to swing into the smoke. He's checkmated. He's swinging into a smoke that two of the people are already in. He can't get away with it. Opened up nicely with Gen G's aggression, which, like I said, their comp benefits them. Not something that Sentinels could ever really do, support Zekken in that kind of way on their defense half. But monster performance from Karen, up to 20 kills.
The cams are broken. It's one more round that's needed here for Gen G for their opening match of champs. They've not slowed down a beat. Up and over. Blazestorm in the hands. Texture is releasing. Just absolutely unbelievable form.
I can't use that.
Sentinels left to stew and simmer.
Knives back out though for Zekken.
Munchkin will fade away. Knives out, but back to the wall. Texture reveals his position. 3 left available to work with. Blinded up Meteor. He spots it, betrayed by the barrel. A 2-0 finish. Gen G